Hey there, gorgeous. My name is Melissa, and I am also known as the Taropist, and I am going to be your tarot card reader. Guys, we are going to do a whatever comes out reading for the collective today. So this can resonate for any placement of any sign at any time. We are going to go into a little bit of an introduction about myself and my channel. And for those of you who have already gone through the introduction or just aren't interested in it, I am going to put a timestamp in the pinned comment below for you to be able to jump right into the beginning of the reading. For those of you who are interested in knowing a little bit more about myself, my channel, and my personal readings, hey, I am again the Taropist, and anything that you would ever need to know about myself or my channel, you can find either in the description box below, the channel description, or my community tab. You can certainly always check out my website here, which is www.thetaropist.com. I am currently closed for the Zoom and the FaceTime readings. However, I am available for pre-recorded and email readings, and all of the information that you would need on that is listed in the description box below, I think, as well as the channel description. If you have any questions on any of those things, you can certainly always email me, and that email address is also listed in both of those places. Guys, the personal readings are going to be the most powerful way for me to pick up on your personal situation and energy. I do channel energy. And in these collective readings, I often channel very specific messages for very specific people. But if you want to guarantee that the reading is going to be for you, then the personal readings are going to be the way to go. If you're uninterested or unable to purchase a personal reading at this time, but you would like me to be more likely to pick up on your personal situation in my collective readings, then do make sure that you are engaging with the channel in some or as many ways as possible. This is to help you transfer your energy here and for me to be able to pick up on it more easily. And some easy ways that you can do that are by liking or commenting. Bam. Liking or commenting on any of my community tab posts or any of my videos. You can certainly always share any of my content if you think it'll be helpful for others. And my personal favorite, and I think the most powerful way for me to be able to pick up on your energy in my collective readings is by you clicking the subscribe button below. If you are going to subscribe to the channel and you would like to be notified when I do upload or go live in the future, then make sure you have your notifications set to all. I think that's about it, guys. Let's rock and roll here. We're going to start out with the Moonology Oracle deck and just see what messages need to come through. Of course, setting your intentions for the reading, this and future readings, will be very beneficial for you as well as the engagement. So just kind of taking a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and letting the universe know what questions you would like answered. Of course, by the way, the answers are always inside of you, but I know that it's really hard in the world that, the way society is set up for us to trust our inner knowing and our gut instincts. And sometimes that they can make it very uncomfortable for us to think outside of the box, right? Or to think for ourselves. So this usually will bring you to tarot readings when you're trying to believe your own intuition. And by the way, your intuition is correct. However, a lot of us have a lot of psychological damage and wounding from both the societal conditioning and abusive situations that we may have endured in our childhood or beyond. Okay. So discerning our wounds from our intuition is another reason that people might find themselves on a tarot card reading. And let's get your power back. That's what I feel like saying right now. So that feels like it's going to be a prominent message. You need to start trusting your intuition, okay? Your inner guidance system and your inner knowing, something that you know, but you don't know why you know, things like that. We all have these gifts. But again, depending on how viciously we endured the conditioning is kind of how accessible or inaccessible our intuition is. And by the way, there are actual things out in, our lifestyle that are creating even more difficult fluoride or something like this, like to make I'm going to say calcified pineal gland is what's coming through here. So there are things that we may need to change in our nutritional lives or our lifestyle that will help us to reconnect to our intuition as well. Okay. Communication is key because that does feel like, let's find out more, but it does feel like communication with the divine or listening to but also there's a need to communicate. And we're going to find out more. There's something about your throat chakra, your inability to communicate without a filter or with a, it's like your inability, yeah, to communicate without a filter. A time to give rather than take. All right. And then we have meditate and contemplate. So we've got Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces here. A lot of Mercury energy. So I feel like a lot of thoughts, but not a lot of communication going on. Emotions are running high here. I really didn't want to do a love reading, but I do feel like this might be about love. Your dreams need a practical plan. Okay. So uh, read that a little bit there. We're going to get some tarot on it because I'm having a hard time with these so far. Time to give rather than take. Okay, so they are saying something about, this is an interesting message, but we are all creators of our own reality for sure. But in general, we've been built and designed to create something specific, and it will feel like a calling or a pull or a passion of ours. And a lot of times, depending on how what's this word? Depending on how, there's a word coming through here. What is this? Not Not outcasted. Something about, oh well, we're gonna get it more, but depending on how radical our specific passion is, there's the reality that we've had to suppress some of the inner workings of ourselves. Okay, especially when you have like a deep soul calling in that doesn't align with what like the societal norms are. This is never going to go against the good of all. Okay, this is always going to be in for the good of all and to the harm of none when it's your soul's calling. But it does feel like something that maybe either made people uncomfortable because there's a truth that you're sharing, or you keep getting downloaded. By the way, I understand this because my downloads kept coming in about medical issues, health, mental health and physical health, and a lot of information on government. And I was like, wow, I have, this is not my area of expertise. However, divine decides what your area of expertise is. And the amount of information that's available out there for us to research and learn that is incorrect is what exactly makes you so powerful. Okay. So, because the information that comes through you is never incorrect. Again, I want you to discern what is coming through you because of a psychological wound of yours, meaning, okay, so there's a meme coming through for you, and it is intuition speaks in statements, and fear or your fears are going to speak to you in questions. So when something comes through you and it seems very certain, and you're like, how would I ever know that? But it comes through you and it seems so certain, and it's like you almost just want to blurt it out from the rooftops, whatever this is. But then your internal like fears or your subconscious fears come into play and start questioning every bit of information that's coming through you. And I want to say also, when you've tried to share this information with anyone, even people, especially people that are close to you, and they have rejected that information because it doesn't align with what we've been taught, it triggers, some insecurities around abandonment and rejection as well. And then we did get the Ace of Swords, which is about truth and a need to be able to speak clearly. Now, this is about clearing up your throat chakra here so that you're able to communicate clearly with the world or with whomever it is you're being called to communicate with. By the way, if you're being called to communicate with people that are on your, I want to say, by the way, when you see somebody posting a lot and nobody seems to be engaging in their posting from their personal Facebook profile or something like that, the reality of the reason why they feel called to continually communicate is because they are being called to do so with whatever information is coming through them. Now they're going around looking for evidence of the information that's coming through them and posting things that other people wrote to people that might not be their demographic. This might be you who I'm talking to, by the way. So it's saying that it's not that you're sharing the wrong information. It's just that you're sharing it with the wrong people or from the wrong platform. So and I've learned this lesson myself, is like, we don't want to force the information that we've been given down the throats of people who are not meant to hear it. We want to share the information with those who are going to benefit from it, right? So sometimes the information that we've been given is actually going to hinder people's growth because it's going to scare them. They're not ready for that amount of information yet. They either can't don't have the capacity to understand it, or for whatever reason, it's going to deter them from moving forward in whatever they're supposed to be pursuing at this time. So there is a need to get into a space where your demographic can find you, not forcing the people that are already in your area to be your demographic. I hope that makes sense for you. So a need to let go of this desire to get people who are already around you to listen, because there's a whole group of people who are nowhere near you that actually need the information you keep sharing. And I hope this is making sense for you, because it does say your dreams need a practical plan. And then we do have the judgment card, and they're saying something about like, well, it's time to create a platform that is specifically for you sharing this information. And then the divine, while it might be a slow moving situation, by the way, it might not. So some people do come out into the public eye in some way and tend to move very quickly, and things start to unfold for them very quickly. And I think this actually comes from a place of somebody who is already prepared, healed, and working out of true authenticity, which is a really hard place to get to, by the way, especially when you have a message that is rejected from most of the world, because then you're a little skeptical about sharing because of the rejection that you felt, or the I feel like this is going to go right into a reading that we had the other day, but it doesn't matter. Whoever this message is for, it's saying that there's a need to create a platform where you're able to share the information that's coming through you without feeling the need to suppress any parts of the message or any parts of you here. And it looks like this is it. I feel like you're helping people wake up to something. Okay. We're all awakening in different ways on different timelines at different times. Some of us are going through a purge of our anger and resentment and all the pain that we've endured. And it comes out looking a lot like anger and, again, hate and rage. And these are all the hate you see in the world has literally nothing to do with the rest of the world. It has to do with the way they feel about themselves, or the way they've been conditioned to feel about themselves, coming out in projection, and projecting that onto people who don't deserve it, certainly, but it's just the way that the body purges this type of energy. Okay. So again, I want to say you've been met with some anger from people who are not ready for the message that you're sending. And so there's a need for you to get into a space where the people that are needing your information or this information are able to find you. The divine said, if you build it, they will come, because that's like the divine will send them your way when you're sending the message from a clear and authentic space that will be beneficial to those who need to hear the message. I hope that makes sense for you. That was a short and sweet one, but I am going to leave the message there. So a strong need for you to get into a platform or onto a platform or several platforms that are not surrounded by your personal friendships and relationships. So we're not looking to try to make our family and friends believe what we believe. We're actually supposed to be sending the message to people who are already seeking the information that we're giving. Okay. I hope that makes sense for you. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button, and I will see you in the next message, in the next reading. Love you. Bye.